Hey, it's been a little while, but really hasn't been much to show you. What I'll do is I'll give you a Christmas season update here really quick. Bunch of stuff's gone right, and then a lot of stuff outside of the house has gone wrong, and it's definitely slowing things down. So we're in, I don't know, the guest bedroom, upstairs, office, computer room, the something room upstairs, and all the walls have been textured, and I just got to do a last little bit around this window, and then I can texture up to it. I'm leaving the insides of my windows smooth. You'll notice the ceiling doesn't have texture because I was going to give splatter texture a try. I helped once doing splatter texture about 15 years ago, and that's the full extent of my experience. Some went well, some didn't go quite so good. So here's the setup. This came from the dump and I fixed it. This came from the dump, and I probably could have fixed it, but I damaged the head gasket trying to get it off to fix the reed valves, and I wasn't going to order a new head gasket for it. However, this doesn't have a regulator. This does. So it's bootlegged into there and bootlegged out of there. Yada, yada, yada. This is Shay's closet. This was the first test. I splattered it and immediately hated it and then knocked it down. And once I knocked it down, you know, it wasn't so bad. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. I need to knock off some nerdy bits, but that's not that big a deal. I like this one okay. You can see where some places I did it too early, or I had too big of blobs, and other places I didn't, but I believe it's an acceptable job for a closet. And then we get to this bathroom. The story's not quite as rosy. I really struggled. I mean, I like the look of this. That looks fine. I don't like the look of any of that. So it's probably acceptable overall. It's a little thin right there maybe. Let's see, you hit it way too early right here. It's probably acceptable overall, and I imagine it'll just get left. But the plan was to use that texture in a lot of other places so that I could save mud and save time. And I'm just not happy enough with it. I know it's in gazillions of houses around the world, including mine when I bought it, but I don't like it. I mean, I like the looks of it fine, but so here the master bathroom, and the ceiling is all prepped. You'd probably call it a level 4 finish because it hasn't been trialed over. And it's all prepped to be splattered, but I just don't think I like it well enough. I believe it's going to get a hand texture that I try to knock down. I don't know. To be totally honest, I do the one texture and I do it very well. I don't do the rest of them. So that's a thing. What else? I don't know, there's some other stuff. I'll go find it. So the front windows, they're basically, these 5 are done. That one I need to get up in there and do some more. And they'll still need caulking around the outside edges because, surprise, surprise, apparently I didn't fit that sheetrock quite right up there. Sort of a big gap. But they're down to about this level, and everything is done across the ceiling. Over here, it was getting ready to spray it with the splatter, so it's like very well prepped to right there, and then rough prepped all the way across. Like I said, I just don't like it. I just don't like it, so. And everybody bought 10 more boxes of mud. We're through at least 50 so far, and this is what I've got done. And everybody acts surprised that I need to buy more mud, and then when they find out I haven't even started on the downstairs, they give me this shocked, horrified look. I don't think I'm putting it on too thick. The only one that doesn't sound shocked and horrified is my father-in-law, and he just said, well, it takes a lot of mud. But each time he says that, there's a longer pause, and he's like, huh. Well, it takes a lot of mud, and that pause gets a little bigger every time. Stairwell's done. This was prepped to be splattered. It's obviously not going to be splattered anymore. Yeah, so my wife's mother had to have a third of her colon removed, so she's over there. Shay and I are batching it. That roar you heard at the start of the video was him cutting on a span saw. I've hauled a span saw out here and set it up out here because what else was the kid gonna do? And it was keeping me from doing any work, so this will allow us to sneak out some in the evenings. Basically, I just been single parenting it, and with all the stuff going on at school, and just hasn't been the time. The goal still currently, because especially with the wife's mother, we're just, money's gone, right? So currently the goal is to work on what I can work on here with very little capital investment. We'll worry about the rest of it sort of in the spring. My deepest hope was to have us in here. You know, the original goal was to have us moving in this time. Actually, this time this year. So that's not going to happen. But to have us moving in at the end of summer, because I would very much like to be able to rent our current house. Two reasons. One, we can't actually get any replacement teachers. You know, our school has no electives. We aren't even teaching a foreign language, and it's required by law. Okay, we have some really shitty online version, right? I'm sure it works great for some kids, but how do you learn online foreign language, you know, conversationally? It's just, anyways, it's tough. And it's because we haven't got any teachers, and so, you know, I teach 3 cores, the music teacher's teaching 3 cores, and nobody's got room for electives because we're all covering. And we've had a lot of teachers refuse because they can't find a place to live. So the real hard goal was to try to get my place even sort of half-assed available to rent it for an incoming teacher, which you probably have to do by July. That is so far from what looks like reality right now. I don't know. It is what it is. But we have the stove. The furnace has been running flawlessly, keeping the house exactly at 50 degrees with very little input. And then we light the stove and let it roar as much as we can, and try to drive the heat up as high as I can while I'm here, and just to sort of save us on propane. Stove is definitely too small, but there's some modifications I can make, and I need to do in the spring. I'll do a review on it, because I know it's not a bad little stove. It's a Canadian stove. It's not a bad little thing. It's just, I think their BTU ratings, even though I have them, I think their BTU ratings were still, you know, burning exotic tropical hardwood, best possible ways. Nonetheless, it is working, and it's covered in dust right now from sanding, but it's pretty cool. And like I said, I got Shay out here, and I got him set up over there, and yeah.
The shop got too cold.
The shop got too cold. So from all of us, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever. We'll see you later.